name these.
And you said not to worry about the names though, right?
The names of any of the enzymes. You should know the names of these four things.
Okay.
So this is methionine. So
We
this
just don't have to draw it.
you what?
We just don't have to draw it,
Right.
but we should name it.
You need to draw these four things. And all you're doing is drawing methionine with one change every time.
Okay.
So if you memorize methionine, we're going to highlight which change is what, right? This is our change right here, the sulfur. And it's got a positive and a blob. That's the only change. You just still have methionine. We've just attached a blob and a charge to the sulfur in it.
Oh, you literally just added a carbon.
That's literally what happened. We added a blob, which added a charge because now it's got 3 bonds. So but the point is we're trying to get rid of this methyl group, right? So here's still our methyl group. We want the methyl group for something else. How do we get it? Okay? So now we're going to have, I'll put the names on the side. Just blob over here. Okay? Right? So S, CH2, CH2, CH. I'll draw a line. Okay, what happened? Our CH3 is over here. Ooh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, our methyl group left. That's what happened. That's the only difference between this molecule and this molecule. When the methyl group left, you had 3 bonds on the sulfur. Now you have 2, so the charge goes away. Sulfur's now a happy little orbital 2- filled up item. All right? So, again, from going from here to here, we got the methyl group that we wanted. That was the point. We're liberating the methyl group. It happens right here. In order to get that methyl group off, it doesn't want to come off methionine on its own. You've got to bind it to something else so that the sulfur stays happy. Sulfur needs 2. It will tolerate 3, but it doesn't want 1. So you give it 3 temporarily, you can pop the methyl group off, and then you're back to 2. Is everybody following me so far? Okay, so now what? We want our blob back so we can do it again. So we go one more time. We get rid of the blob, so blob left. And I realize this is like, crib note biochemistry, but it makes it a little more accessible than trying to draw the whole rest of the molecule that I just don't care about. Okay, so the blob left, so what are we left with? Right, now we have sulfur, which just grabbed an H to keep itself happy. Oh, I'm running out of room. I'm just going to scoot it over. It's not changed at all. I just ran into the end of the board. It's the exact same thing. I just don't want to smush it at the end. So. Okay, so, and we added an H, because sulfur needs to be happy with 2. Sulfur wants 2, tolerates 3, but needs 2. So, that's why we're memorizing this. This is shorthand for a really important mechanism in our cells. We need this methyl. How do we get it? This is how we get it. So methionine, which is, essential, right? Just not indispensable, whatever you would like to call. We got to take it in so we can get these methyl groups. We're left with histidine. This is histidine, sorry. Oh, sorry, homocysteine. Sorry, homocysteine. And then we'll talk later about cysteine because that's another sulfur. And then, okay, but homocysteine.
We have to write L.
Yeah, you can write L. Okay, homocysteine. Okay, so 4 things. You're memorizing methionine. You're memorizing the next step, which is methionine plus the blob plus the charge. Memorizing the next thing, which is the blob and the CH3 left, so the charge went away. And then you're memorizing the last thing. The blob left, so you end up with histidine, which grabbed an H at the very end to make sure that sulfur has 2 bonds.
And are we naming, is there a name for this intermediate?
Yeah, so, yeah, oh, yeah, sorry.
So that's
This
histidine or
This is
homocysteine?
homocysteine, right? Because that's what you're getting.
Amanda, homocysteine, not
What exactly are
histidine.
we naming right now?
Okay, so let's name the molecule because it's going to make sense. All right. So this blob is known as adenosyl, right? S-adenosyl. So we've got methionine. It's just hanging out on its own. We've attached it to the blob. So we still have L-methionine, but we attached it to the blob, which is S-adenosyl. Okay. Now, instead of methionine, we have homocysteine. So we still have the blob, S-adenosyl, but we have L-homocysteine. And then the blob left, so we're just left with L-homocysteine. It's very systematic. The naming, which is nice, because if you remember that you got it, and even if you forget that, you'll get 90% of the points if you just go blob L-methionine and blob L-homocysteine. Because that's what I care about. I don't. We'll use the blob in some. I don't care about that. Okay? I want you guys to get the idea of what's going on here, because this is important and we do it a lot.